You like to solve problems.
I do. If I can't solve problems, I start twitching.
You start twitching?
I start twitching.
That is a very radical jump. Like, that's a lot.
Well, wait, it's kind of like a guy. When a guy is like, hey, do you want me to, like...
Are you up?
You're so funny. No. You know, when a girl tells you their problems, the girl just wants you to listen. And the guy fixes the problem. He's like, well, if you do this, it's fixed. And that's not what we want. So you, when we first started dating, you were like, do you just want me to listen or you want me to, like, fix this? And I'm like, I just want you to listen. Oh, okay. I'm the fixer. Like, you tell me something, I'm immediately going into, how do we fix this problem?
Wait, so I can't be like, all right, well, this is how you solve the problem, but you can be like, hey, this is how you solve the problem.
I tell people I'm a fixer.
You tell people, what about me? Do you tell me that you're a fixer?
You don't listen to me anyway, so...
I do listen to you.
Really? When you sliced your finger open on Friday, the only thing you did was put super glue in it. And then I told you, do you have liquid bandage? No, we don't have liquid bandage. Okay, maybe put a Band-Aid on it and then tape it to the next finger so you don't bend it. Because if you bend it, you're going to... that super glue could pop off and then you're going to bleed all over the place.
You act like this is my first cut.
No, I have to work.
I did have to work.
Yeah, but you know what? I know you, and you'll pop something open, you're going to bleed all over the joint, and then he's like, it was to the bone. It's to the bone, but you don't want to not pop the super glue off and start bleeding all over the place again? That's fine. Do whatever you want.
I put a lot of super glue on it.
Sure. Sure.
Anywho, hello, my darling.
Hello.
Welcome back to...
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Wow, it's actually, it's nice. What did we do this, like, last week?
I think it was last Sunday, yeah.
Last Sunday, and here we are, Sunday again. Is this going to be our standard recording time?
I mean, I feel like it's probably the easiest because...
we always have a lot going on.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes on Saturdays, and that's usually when we either go out to dinner with your family, or we're having culture night here at the house, or somebody's having a birthday party or something. It's usually on a Saturday because most of the time nobody's doing anything on Sunday night. So it makes the most logical sense. And then especially here, not tomorrow, obviously, but the next week the boys start school again. So the little one's going to be going to bed at 8:15. And then the older one, so long as he doesn't get in trouble, goes to the garage and plays video games or whatever he wants to do out there. And we sit in here for 45 minutes and then kick him to bed and then we can go to bed.
Yeah, I like that. I especially like the whole going to bed part. That's pretty nice.
Okay, so you already know this. We're going to tell the people because it's funny and you laughed at me.
Okay.
So Friday, I went to go do a window cleaning job. And afterwards, I stopped by my parents' house to pick up my 2 cases of lemon excess that they finally brought back. My favorite flavor. I was very excited.
Who's they?
Amway.
Amway, got it.
Yeah, sorry. And so then I went home. And I put all of the cases into the fridge.
Oh, I know. I remember where you go with this.
And then I put one in a cup with ice around it.
And how late was this when you had your first lemon excess, which is an energy drink?
Oh, yeah.
How late was this whenever you had that?
When I first opened it, it was like 6 or 6:30.
And how late was it when you finished it?
Like midnight.
Like midnight. Okay.
Yeah, because I was drinking it.
No, wait, what? No. What time did you end up going to sleep that night?
I didn't go to sleep that night. I went to sleep at like 5:11 in the morning.
Yeah, what time did you wake up the next day?
Like 9:30 or 10.
Like 9, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I got a little over 4 hours of sleep.
Okay.
So, but...
All right, buddy. It's an elf reference, by the way.
It's a what?
Elf reference.
Elf reference?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that stupid movie. Whatever.
Oh, how dare you. All right, listen.
I cannot...
all right.
No.
Maybe one of the topics we will get into the beloved creature that is Will Ferrell. But... until then, we're going to stick a little bit with the supernatural.
He's not natural.
So You're right. I've heard many stories. But I typically talk about movie stars and comedians on the other podcast that I am on.
Yeah, I only want to be on there.
The post-credit podcast.
And I only want to be on there if we're going to talk about Avatar.
All right, shout out to Drew and Matt.
Yeah, but Drew has to be there when we talk about Avatar. He has to, even if he doesn't say anything, we're going to duct tape him in the corner.
Okay. I'm just going to show up with a roll of duct tape.
Yeah, it's fine.
Have Matt hold them down.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
They're both bigger guys, and I'm just a wee little lad.
I mean, he's got like at least 8 inches height on you, because he's tall, too.
Yeah, he's tall, and they're both big. They're both big bears of men.
Drew, he's like a teddy bear, though.
Yeah. They're both like teddy bears.
He'd let us duct tape him to the wall.
He would.
Especially if we're like, hey, we want to try this experiment out to see if we can actually duct tape somebody to the wall. he would just let us do it. But we got to wrap him up first and then duct tape him.
What are the chances of him listening to this episode before we decide to duct tape him?
If you don't tell him, super low.
Okay, fair enough.
Just don't tell him about it at all.
Just don't. All right. Okay. Well, welcome back to Make Me Believe. It is the podcast where I tell my wife, Kaylyn.
Oh yeah, my name's Kaylyn, and you are who?
I'm Adrian.
We should probably tell people who we are. Anyway.
Yes. So hi, I'm Adrian, and where I try to tell my wife, Kaylyn, scary stories and true encounters, and try to make her believe in the supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel about this? How do you feel about me trying to convert you into a believer?
I just hope you don't get your feelings hurt when it doesn't happen.
Aww.
It's not gonna.
How little faith.
I mean, I can't be persuaded.
You can't be persuaded. No. Okay, well, I have a plethora of stories that I have seemed to find.
He likes that word, guys.
I do. Plethora. It means a lot. Okay, so I have two stories for us today.
Okay.
One is one got brought up to me because of recent events, and
this better not be about that damn doll. I'm gonna leave this room right now, and the dog and I are gonna go.
We will get into that later. But yeah, recent events that reminded me of a couple of things, so I figured, why not talk about them? Another one is about one of our favorite topics to discuss, a forbidden object that will never enter this household, the Ouija board.
Absolutely not. I presented this to him at the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. I told him, I said, you tell me your stories trying to convince me that all of this is real, and then you let me tell you stories of this stuff that has been debunked. And he doesn't want to play that game with me.
I do not.
The bully.
I do not. I'm trying to make you believe, and I'm trying not to have my spirits crushed.
I'm just crushing mine. Cool.
Yeah. This is a one-way street.
That's so rude.
I know.
Okay, yeah. A Ouija board is never coming into my house. Mm-hmm. Ever.
No.
And I think my sister has a Ouija board or has used one.
Cassidy?
Yeah, of course it would be Cassidy.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. It may have actually been her friend who had it, but there's absolutely no way a Ouija board is coming.
Never
into my
in
house.
my life have I messed with the Ouija board, just because I am utterly terrified of it.
It was we were never told no, but it was kind of an unconscious thing that we just knew we were not allowed to mess with them.
And I was never told no as well, but I'm just a big old chicken. So I just never decided to mess with it. Especially whenever I started living on the ranch and I had those paranormal experiences, and I'm like, okay, why bring more?
Now, did you know what a Ouija board was, though, to make the decision? Okay, see, we never knew what a Ouija board was.
Yes, I knew what a Ouija board was.
I also feel like your sister would have tortured the ever-living crap out of you with a Ouija board.
Oh, yeah, she would have been in her room conducting seances by herself just to get something to haunt me in the room next door.
Yeah, I can see your sister doing that too.
Yeah, there was a small rivalry always going on. And if I made her wash the dishes, then there would be hell to pay. And if there was a Ouija board involved, there would be literal hell to pay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what it was. I probably didn't really even understand what it was until I was in my late teens, early 20s, where I actually knew what a Ouija board was. And I was like, nope, absolutely not. I'm not homicidal. No, thank you. I'm not crazy. No, not homicidal, suicidal. I'm not suicidal.
You're not homicidal?
I'm not homicidal either. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that.
Play with the Ouija board and we'll find out.
So this ought to be interesting. Because I've heard and read some stories about people jacking around with Ouija boards.
Oh, yeah.
And so I am quite curious about that story because there are many, many debunked stories of Ouija boards. Oh, I wasn't pushing that planchette. Yes, you were, you little liar. So okay. I'm quite interested to hear this one. The first one is also, you shrouded that one a little bit of mystery, so I'm curious.
I shrouded them both a little bit in mystery. Yeah. I feel like that's a good way to start it. We're not going to go too deep into it until we are at the story.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Are these longies as well?
Yes, actually. Both of them I deem to be a little bit of longies. If I don't find any longies, then I have to do at least 3 stories. And luckily enough, I found 2 nice, big old longies.
I'm a little sad I don't have any snacks with me this time.
Yeah, we'll look into that. I can't have you eating popcorn because that is the worst thing to do. when trying to record audio.
Those cheese pretzels that I got yesterday at the store, I really wanted to eat those, but I'm like, that would be the loudest noise. It would almost be like I'm chewing gum right next to the mic, and that's
a no.
I'm not that rude.
No, that's a no. I feel like yogurt would be a decent substitute.
Yogurt or my ice cream.
Yeah, yogurt or ice cream.
That's a horrible noise.
So, do you have your water?
I do, and I
have my water too. I'm gonna take a little sip real quick.
My Luke's cup that you got me from whatever the name of that store was.
Box lunch.
Box lunch. I was gonna say lunch box, and I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, that's close enough. Okay. All right. So the first episode is a little bit of
the first episode.
I'm sorry. The first story is a little bit of a timepiece.
A timepiece.
Yeah, it's
it's not set in our time, like in this current time or the century. Was it in the 1900s? That was so long ago.
So long ago. Are you ready?
Bring it on. Let's go.
All right. I've named this one The Party. A long time ago, back in 1999, it was a really weird year of Y2K paranoia, Napster downloads that took all night long, and a mall culture that hadn't quite realized it was about to die. I was in my junior year of high school. I loved a good soft pretzel and some orange Julius. I lived for being at the mall, wandering through Hot Topic and Spencer's, just laughing at the edgy t-shirts and those weird sex toys in the back. That's when I came upon it. My first Ouija board. It was wedged between the racks of a novelty beer bong and a blacklight poster, just sitting there, almost like it was specifically waiting for me. The box was that cheap cardboard wrapped up in plastic. It wasn't some antique relic or an old school wooden board. It was mass produced. It was the kind that Hasbro probably sold to suburban moms right alongside Monopoly, but that was the charm of it. It was a gag, a party prop, a way to freak people out when the beer got low and the conversation got stale. Still, it was really weird to see it like that, so sterile. Almost like it was a kid's toy. I definitely wasn't the kind of guy who believed in ghosts or demons. Sure, I watched my fair share of horror movies, but I was always the one to point out the bad special effects or rolling my eyes at the obvious jump scares. And most of my friends were the same way. We liked to watch all that creepy shit, but we didn't really believe in it. More than a few times we had gone to the old abandoned house off Route 9 and told a few scary stories about the kid who supposedly burned to death inside the attic. We had dared each other to sleep there, but nobody could last more than an hour. It wasn't because of the ghost, it was because it was cold as hell and smelled like mold up there. So this Ouija board was kind of perfect. I bought it with the $20 that I had crumpled up in my back pocket. The cute goth cashier girl barely even glancing over at me, despite my best efforts to flirt and get her number. It was just another dumb mall purchase. Something to throw in the back closet with an old issues of Fangoria and a half-burnt candles from the seance we tried once in my basement. The first time we used it, it was in my friend Brian's room, with the lights dim and 9-inch nails humming in the background. We placed our fingers on the planchette and asked those typical questions that you do. Is anybody there? What's your name? How did you die? And we waited until the planchette moved. But obviously, it was one of us moving it. I called them out, and they would laugh and move on. But other times it was weird. One night, at a different party, the board spelled out, "No nightcap." We laughed it off, but this girl across from me, Laura, started to look kind of pale. That's what my grandma said to my mom right before she died, she whispered, and that weirded us all out. Sure, we played it up for drama, but the unease in her voice really struck a chord with me. Another time, it gave us a series of numbers, and nobody really recognized it. Timothy, my best friend, wrote them all down and looked them up later. It ended up being an address to a house just 2 streets over. But most of the time, it was just a game that we used to mess with people. It was a fun way to break the ice, get the girls to huddle close to you, and get the guys to act like tough skeptics. It was all bullshit. It was all fun. At least that's what I thought. But one night at Timmy's party, everything changed. We threw ragers that could only happen in the 90s. A perfect mix of high school kids and college kids packed in a house with 0 adult supervision. Fueled, of course, with cheap beers and whatever liquor anybody can get their hands on. The music was loud. The lights were dim. The air was filled with cigarette smoke. And every now and then, you could get a whiff of somebody's shitty weed. It was one of those nights that just felt endless, where every room had its own little chaos happening in itself. So, once it started to die down, I brought out the Ouija board. Of course, it was almost a tradition at this point. A reliable way to get some laughs, and maybe, if you're lucky, you might hear a few nervous gasps. I realized that there was a science to it. You couldn't pull it out right away. You had to wait for the right moment. Once the initial drinking rush was over, and people had stopped crowding the stereo, arguing over which Limp Bizkit song was up next, When the energy would dip just enough for people to open up for suggestions, that moment came around midnight, and a few of us were in the living room slumped on couches and leaning up on the walls, caught in the strange in-between space where people are winding down or looking for their next thrill. And that's when I said it. Have you guys ever tried out a Ouija board? A couple people immediately perked up. College kids, mostly drunk enough to be open for anything, but not so far gone that they couldn't focus. Timmy was already slurring his words when he patted me on the back. Hell yeah, man. Let's freak some people out. Within minutes, we set the scene. The big wooden dining table quickly became our seance space. Somebody turned off most of the lights, leaving only a few flickering candles. Somebody else had the great idea of turning on the TV but putting it to static. The low hiss of the white noise buzzed through the room, almost like some kind of angry whisper. It was perfect. We gathered round, maybe 7 or 8 of us, and the rest just watching from the edge or too drunk to even care. The planchette sat in the middle of the board, waiting. I put my fingers on it first, along with Timmy and a couple other college guys. A girl named Angela, who looked to be a bit skeptical but was excited, joined in last. All right, I said, grinning. Let's see if we can piss off some ghosts. I started it out with the simple first question you always ask. Is there anybody there? The planchette hesitated, then shifted towards yes. Somebody giggled, but I could feel the tension creeping in now. What's your name? Angela asked. The planchette moved, spelling out something with the jerky, uneven movements. D-A-N-T-E. Like the poet? Timothy snorted at a guy across the table, but one of the college girls muttered, That's not funny. What? I asked, glancing around the room. There's an urban legend, man, one of the college guys said, just trying to hide his shakiness under his breath, involving this specific building, this house. I mean, it used to be an old social office in the 60s. Some dude named Dante offed himself here back in the day. A chill quickly ran through the group. I even felt my skin prickle. Was that really true, or was he just fucking with us? Angela swallowed. Dante? How did you die? The planchette started jerking, moving faster than before. R-O-P-E. Oh, okay, I said, forcing a laugh. That's a little on the nose, don't you think? But nobody else was laughing. One of the other guys, a heavy-set dude in a flannel, suddenly pushed back from the table. We should stop. Why, Timmy said. This is the best one yet. Because, the guy said, getting irritated. You're messing with shit you don't understand, man. Dude, I sighed. It's just a fucking game. I bought it literally from Spencer's. That doesn't mean it's safe, he snapped back. You ever heard of intent? Of how this stuff really works? It's not the board. It's the people using it. If you open up a door that you can't shut... The candles then flickered. The planchette jerked again beneath our fingers, cutting the guy's train of thought. Angela yelped, and she pulled her hands from the board when it started to spell something else. L-E-A-V-E. Okay, I said, now more amused and even scared. That's so cute. But the guy in the flannel was not having it. He was now breathing faster, and now his hands were gripping the edge of the table so hard his knuckles were turning white. We have to stop. The guy was turning red at this point. I couldn't tell if it was from the booze or the situation. And then before anybody could react, he shoved the table hard enough for the board to slide off and hit the ground. What the fuck, man? Timothy shot up, and it started to occur to me just how drunk we all were in the moment. But the guy was already moving, and his eyes were wide now as he stormed off into the kitchen. And for a second, I thought he was just going to go for another drink. Maybe splash some water on his face or something like that. We picked up the board, put it back on the table. That's when I heard the door slam open. He came back with a knife, and everybody immediately burst into hysterics. I think this guy was about to kill everyone present. It was a real big kitchen knife, sharp and gleaming in the candlelight. Whoa, hey man, somebody stammered out. He pointed the blade at the table. His hands were shaking, but his grip was firm. You don't know what you're fucking doing, man, he said with a crazed expression. You don't understand that this shit comes with a price. Now everybody get away from the table. Dude, put the knife down, Angela said. He ignored her. Though his breath was teetering on full panic now. This demon shit is not a joke. This is very real. And you think you're playing a game? You don't mess with this stuff. Now get out of my way. The room was dead silent now. The static from the TV was the only noise, and nobody was moving. Then, suddenly, in one swift motion, he lunged for the Ouija board, like it had personally assaulted him. The knife came down hard and stabbed straight through the middle of it. The board cracked, and the planchette skidded off onto the floor. The knife was lodged into the wood of the table beneath it. Timothy reacted as if it was his parents' own dining room set. Then, Somebody screamed. That was enough to snap people out of their own trance. A few guys rushed him, grabbed his arm, and wrestled the knife away. He fought back, wildly thrashing out, but he was too far drunk and uncoordinated. Timothy and I managed to push him towards the door, his feet dragging against the carpet, as he cursed and spat at us. "You don't understand," he screamed. "You let something in." We shoved him outside, slammed the door behind him, and for a long time nobody said anything. The candles flickered and the static buzzed, and the Ouija board still skewered on the table in the middle of it all, the word leave still buried in the back of our minds. Then, from somewhere deep in the house, something creaked, a long, low, slow groan, like wood shifting under weight. The front door was locked, but it sounded like somebody was walking upstairs, and for a second nobody moved, and nobody said anything. The air in the house was now obviously changed. It was thicker, heavier, like the moment before a storm breaks out open in the sky. The only sound was that soft hum from the TV, blending in with faded echoes of whatever was creaking upstairs. Angela coughed, breaking up the silence and the tension. Timothy barked out a nervous laugh. Holy crap! What a psycho! And that seemed to snap everybody back. Angela pushed away from the table, shaking her head. What the hell was that? Who even was that guy? One of the college guys who told the Dante story exhaled through his nose and rubbed his temple. Yeah, his name is Derek. I knew him from my dorm. He's kind of a weird dude and drinks a lot and gets intense about religious shit. I didn't think he would be doing this, though, gesturing to the knife still sticking out of the board. Go that far, you mean? Timmy let out a groan and rubbed his face. Well, I guess that's the end of the night, folks. But something was gnawing at me. I was looking at the board and the planchette that had been knocked aside, the blade still buried in the cheap plastic. Derek had lost his mind, sure, but what were the odds that the board would spell out leave just before he would flip out? What were the odds that it would match up with this damn urban legend? I shook off that thought. Most of the crowd had scattered after that. Some people had left, a few of them mumbling excuses under their breath, while others went back to the living room, turning up the music again, trying to shove that weirdness aside. A few diehards stuck around, but the mood had clearly shifted. Angela refused to touch the board. "You're throwing that thing out, right?" she muttered before she left with her friends. And I figured she was right, but as I pried that knife free and lifted up the board, I noticed something. The blade had gone clean through the plastic, but the table underneath didn't even have a scratch. That should have been impossible. The knife was big and sharp and should have left some kind of dent in the wood, but the surface was untouched, pristine, like the blade only wanted to destroy the board. I shoved it into the trash can and then decided not to really think hard about it. Eventually, people left or passed out in the living room, and Timothy crashed on the couch, snoring almost immediately. I found an empty recliner, slumped, and let the exhaustion take over. The house was now quiet, but throughout the night I could still hear the random creaks and footfalls from upstairs. At one point, I could have sworn that I heard a window open and close. Sometime in the early hour of the morning, I woke up to this soft creaking noise. I opened up my eyes, and my head was pounding from the cheap beer and no sleep. The room was dark, the TV was finally turned off, but the house just felt wrong. And that's when I saw the kitchen trash can. The Ouija board was sitting next to it, not in the trash where I left it, but beside it. My skin went cold. I told myself, okay, maybe somebody knocked it out to make room for more beer, or somebody thought it had been thrown away by mistake, but that's not right. Everyone present had witnessed the events that disturbed the evening. I just stared at it. As my stomach slowly and painfully started turning into knots, my heartbeat quickened as I noticed the board was now out of the box, wide open on the floor, with the planchette in the center. It was still split down the middle, where Derek's knife had gone through, but the letters were faded, like it somehow weathered 10 years in the past few hours. It looked like it was from the 1950s now, or something like that. Not scratched, not that, just faded. It made me feel really weird, crazy almost. I didn't want to be around it anymore. I didn't wake up Timmy. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just picked it up, walked outside, threw it in the dumpster across the street. Then, I went home and tried to forget about that night. We didn't do any more satanic panic parties after that, and in fact, nobody mentioned the board again. I just think we're all glad from getting out from underneath such a weird drinking game. And that's it. That is my first Ouija board story.
Idiots. 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 Like, first off, aren't the rules for a Ouija board supposed to be that before you do anything with that board after you've contacted somebody, you have to say goodbye?
Yes, that is some of the rules. So the Ouija board does come with a set of rules.
Yeah, like I'm almost positive that Ouija boards you have to say goodbye in order for it to shut down, air quotes, the communication.
Close down the session?
Yeah, I mean, you have to say goodbye.
Okay, so the general guidelines
Okay.
are don't play alone, have multiple people participate is a common recommendation, respect the spirits, treat the board and any potential entities with respect.
Okay.
Always say goodbye. This is considered essential to close the session and potentially prevent lingering effects. Avoid certain locations, cemeteries, or your own house.
Duh.
Be mindful of questions. Some advise against asking about death, evil spirits, or highly personal topics.
And yet that seems to be the most common thing that people want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? How did you die?
Here's a big one. Don't remove your hands. Keep your fingers lightly on the planchette throughout the session. And properly close the board. This usually involves moving the planchette to goodbye.
Okay, so that is part of the rules.
Yes. Yes, that is part of the rules that you're supposed to abide by when conducting a Ouija board session, seance?
Session. It would be a session because the seance requires the candles and all that crap. Okay, so I do believe in demons.
Okay.
And
I have a lot of demon stories.
Of course you do. And I believe that there are demons in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that people can be tricked by demons.
Uh-huh.
So to say that a demon is not controlling a Ouija board would be... I don't believe it's a ghost controlling it. I don't think that using a Ouija board to contact a ghost and that the ghost is the one talking to you is happening.
And there's some sayings that demons are corrupted ghosts. The scariest thing about Ouija boards is you're asking these questions and they might be answered. Yeah, you're talking
that
to...
apparently you're not supposed to be asking.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be asking. But people ask names, who am I speaking with? And they, Dante. How do you know that you're talking to Dante? That's the thing. Is you don't truly know who you're talking to. You could be talking to a demon.
I think you are.
There is...
If it's not your, neighbor over there actually moving it.
There is a very well-known, documented demon that people have come across in multiple locations, multiple people that have no idea about each other coming across the same name. And it's a specific demon name.
Is this the one that you're not supposed to say his name?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're not going to say it.
I'll say it later. Not right now.
No.
We'll get some holy water in here and start blessing some stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
no.
Do you want me to get you like a healing crystal or something?
I don't do crystals. I don't believe in that. No, absolutely not. Don't bring... Which is so funny because your mother does.
Yeah.
And she's like 100% into that.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to get her to tell me which crystal will help me fly.
Yeah, okay. She literally looks at you and says, "Be quiet, DeLeon," and then tells you to go away. No, I don't believe in that. You want to believe in that? That's totally fine. I do not. It's a rock. Let's be real.
It's a pretty rock.
Yeah, we have tons of those little kits. I can grow my own.
Yeah.
So maybe I can grow one for you that helps you fly.
There we go.
There we go.
See?
Okay.
All right. I sell some stuff on Etsy.
But I don't think that demons can possess certain people.
Okay.
So I think that there are people that not that they can't mess with them, but that they can't possess them.
Okay.
In addition, I think in regards to this story with this kid, personally, if you're around literally a bunch of drunk high school and college students, I think that board was taken out of the trash can and set up by somebody there, and you're hungover, and it's the middle of the night, right?
Maybe Derek came back.
Derek probably would have set it on fire. Maybe he tried.
And, oh yeah, what if he tried?
And maybe
that's how it became weathered.
Yeah, that's and
ooh, I like that. I like that story, which adds a little bit of more mystery.
Yeah,
like they never said goodbye, so it's still spiritually protected.
But I think that all of these
cleanse
things,
it with fire.
But all of these things that he was saying that happened, and flickering lights or the noises or the windows, you've opened yourself up to the susceptibility of hearing that.
Okay, all right.
So
yes, I do believe that word is power.
Yeah, I'm 100% believer in what you say is there. But there's many times we've had transformers blow in our neighborhood, and when a transformer blows, it sounds like a gunshot.
It does.
And so anytime after that, I am more hyper aware of what's happening around my house to make sure that wasn't a gunshot.
Yeah.
because we seem to be on some sort of grid with the police station or fire department or something that we don't lose power.
Mm-hmm.
The majority, I think we've lost power in the house maybe 3 times since we moved in.
Yeah, but not for long.
Yeah, and one of those was because somebody ran into the transformer. Like they ran into the tower.
Yeah.
You know, when we had that horrible winter.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
I mean, I think our neighbor
lost power.
Lost power. I don't know if our next door neighbor did or if the people across the street, I can't remember which one did, but we did not. And I know that street lost power.
Yes.
But our house, we did not. And so whenever we hear that noise, that's the first thing that comes to mind is, oh my gosh, that was a gunshot. And we've never had a gunshot in this neighborhood. Like it's never happened. But you become more hyper aware of everything. And then your brain gives you those, oh my gosh, did somebody just hop your fence? Did you just hear a gate close? Is that sirens that you hear? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. You need to close all the doors and windows and lock everything and close the curtains. And so I think that he thought he heard all of those things. Plus, it's not his house, right?
No, it was not his house.
So there's lots of noises in everybody's house that you're not used to.
Okay.
So the house is settling. So he can't.
I just think it's interesting that nobody heard it before.
Because they weren't open to it before. They weren't open to hearing those things.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Until after that.
Yeah, now everybody spooked and then everybody shut up and then that's whenever they started hearing it.
Yeah, because if you hear a bump in the night and you go, oh my gosh, did you hear that? And then now both of you are listening. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? Yeah, I think I did. Now you're convincing yourself that you heard something that you may not have actually heard. Yeah, or that you saw something that you didn't actually see. Because it is your brain subconsciously giving in to what the other person is suggesting. And that person is the more dominant mind in that situation. And you are submitting to the dominant mind of, I heard that, I saw that. It's kind of like when, I didn't sleep for 3 days because I was reading a bunch of books. And then I went out to try to mow the grass when I was a teenager. And I literally thought I saw black bunny rabbits and snakes running next to the lawnmower.
Okay.
And it's at my parents' house. It was on that hill. And it wasn't there. But because I was so tired, I was seeing things that weren't actually there. And I was believing that they were there because I would see stuff out of the corner of my eye. Cars driving, whatever.
Or were you closer to the plane?
No.
The other plane of existence.
No.
Where all the scary things that go bump in the night.
No.
And that's also a theory, is when somebody is either near death or maybe so exhausted that they actually get closer to that plane and they are able to see the things that exist.
Don't go into the light. Like that.
Okay, are you ready for the next one?
I have a question.
Okay.
So apparently this little idiot has done a seance.
Okay.
Have you done a seance?
No, I've never messed around with it. I've always been too terrified of that.
Again, I feel like your sister would do it. As when she was a teenager, not now. I don't see her doing that now. She's way more level-headed now than the way you guys have described her, and she's described herself as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like she wanted to just do anything and everything that she was not supposed to do. So
that's fair. Yeah, she hit quite a rebellious phase. Me, I was a perfect angelic child, and I never really messed around with it.
Your sister would agree with that. She still points out that one picture your mom always puts on the Christmas tree. Oh, there's your perfect kid right there on the front of the tree. First Christmas I ever spent with y'all. That's what happened. She spent like 5 minutes going on about the picture because your mom wasn't out there yet.
Yeah.
And about how you were perfect. And you're just sitting there at the table like, yep, I'm perfect. And I'm like, you lived with him. You know that's not true.
Oh, okay. I was agreeing to everything you said up until that point.
You're not perfect. I love you, but you're not perfect.
Okay, sure.
So, if you've never done a seance and you've never messed with a Ouija board, which is interesting considering you're so into this stuff.
Yes, but again, I don't want to actively open myself up to anything bad coming towards me, because I've seen some stuff, as I've already stated several times on this particular podcast, that my ranch was haunted and we had a sighting of a woman in white.
Mm-hmm.
We had this creature that haunted my dad's house after he bought it and put it on there. So he bought this house as...
don't tell the story now.
Okay, yeah.
Tell that story as its own thing.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
To me, when something says, like the rules here, respect the spirits, treat the board, and any potential entities with respect, entities should tell you right there, you don't want to be messing with this stuff. Like, no.
The fact that you cannot pinpoint exactly what you're talking to?
this is going off of the fact that I do believe in demons.
Okay.
So if you look at it from...
We got her, folks.
No. You have to give the demon permission.
Okay.
The devil permission, whatever you want to call that, permission to mess with you.
Okay. Let's stop right there.
Okay.
Because you have just segued into the next story.
Subconsciously just did something I didn't mean
to do. You played her. You activated my trap card.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Yes, it is. All right.
That. Okay. All right.
So, as I stated earlier, there was a story that came out recently, and I'm talking about like 2 days ago.
Where was I?
You're the one that told me about this story, darling.
What?
Matt Rife.
Oh my gosh.
Has purchased Ed and Lorraine Warren's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's purchased it. He's purchased, was it the museum or just the house?
Well, he said the house, but then he said he's like the new guardian of Annabelle. Him and his friend Eric, I think.
Okay.
Or he's like the new guardian. So I don't know if their house, because I thought their house was attached to the museum or that they were on the same property.
So they're on the same property.
Okay.
So they had the museum and then they had their own living quarters. Separate building.
Okay, I was going to say I wouldn't want to be living in that.
Yeah, no, that would be insane to have a collection of this occult museum.
I'm out.
Just in the next room.
I knew it was going to be about this damn doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so he said that he bought their house, and I guess with it came the museum, and Possibly. He said he was the guardian of the doll, because they don't have the Robert doll.
No, they do not. That is based in Florida.
Okay, yeah. So then he said he was the new guardian of Annabelle, and that he was going to be opening it up to tours.
Yes, because it's been closed since 2019.
I get 2020, but why? I don't know why 2019.
It was like some zoning rights.
Oh, I think I read about that.
Yeah, there's some zoning rights.
Okay.
Ed and Lorraine Warren have talked about how people would come over to their house in the middle of the night. Hours, knock and say, "Hey, can we see y'all's museum? Can we see Annabelle?"
Yeah, that's rude.
Yeah, that's rude, people. Like, I understand curiosity. Yeah. Believe me, I understand curiosity.
That's just disrespectful.
But yeah, it's disrespectful.
But I don't think he's gonna live there. Like he didn't say anything about him living there, just that he was gonna be opening it up for tours again. So maybe it'll be different zoning wise if nobody lives on the property anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious as to why, because it was the son-in-law that had it.
Yes.
So I'm curious about that. So that's what I know about the selling of that house or that property or whatever is.
Yeah, I don't know why he sold it. Maybe he's just tired of dealing with it. Because I've seen some of the things that he has to do with some of the objects, especially Annabelle. Annabelle, he has to take out. Oh yeah, he has to take her out of her special case, put her in another case, so they could do repairs. And it's a whole process. It's a whole ritual that they have to do.
But I mean, if he understands the importance of that, then I just feel like willy-nilly he wouldn't get rid of that.
No.
So maybe he's still in charge of all of that.
Maybe it was part of the sale. Like, hey, I'm gonna be. You can buy it, but just know I'm gonna own it. Like, I'm still gonna be here.
Yeah, also be responsible for making sure that nobody's going in and opening the thing and pissing her off.
I'm the caretaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow,
so we'll be like Sam Elliott in Ghost Rider, where he's like the caretaker of the graves.
All right. Are you ready?
Apparently, yeah. Can we get that Ouija board off the screen, though? I don't like it.
Oh, you don't like it?
I don't like it. Okay. Much better.
Now we are going to start this story about Annabelle.
Bro, did you do the research for this doll in my house?
Moving on.
Oh my gosh.
All right. You ready?
No. I hate this doll.
You're lucky I don't make you watch the movies.
No.
Okay. The real Annabelle was a gift from a mother to her 28-year-old daughter, Donna, that she purchased from a local hobby store in 1970. It was a newer model of the classic Raggedy Ann doll that had not been produced prior to 1970. If you didn't know the story about this doll, it doesn't look so scary. It's a cute, now classic Raggedy Ann doll standing at 3 feet tall. Donna was a nursing student at the time who was living with another student named Angie, as well as Angie's fiance, Lou. When Donna brought the doll into the apartment, she laid it on her bed, more of a decorative pillow than something to play with. She was 28 years old, after all. Initially, there were no issues, and while she didn't get any bad feelings from the doll, strange things started happening after roughly a month had passed. Donna said she kept coming home and finding her doll in different positions. At first, the changes were subtle, almost like it was playing a game of whether she could tell it moved or not. It didn't leave her bed, just placed itself in different positions than what she had left it. After a few weeks, the doll started appearing in different rooms now. She wanted to believe desperately that Angie or Lou were playing some kind of joke on her and moving it around just to scare her, but dismissed it due to the fact that that was not in their character. When it continued happening, though, she confronted them about it, but believing them fully when they told her that they had nothing to do with it, it made her start fearing the doll, but not enough for her to get rid of it.
Moron.
Not yet. She started to place the doll outside of her room while she slept, noting the exact position and placement of the doll. She started to get really freaked out when she left it in the living room and would wake up with it back in her room even though the door was shut and locked.
Absolutely not.
The doll would end up being found in unnatural positions as if she were a living entity. Donna would find the doll sitting up with her arms folded and legs crossed or standing on its feet. Once found kneeling on a chair, which was very unsettling due to the simple fact that the doll could not kneel without falling over. They tried over and over again to replicate some of these positions that they found the doll in, but saw that they were impossible for the doll to maintain by itself for more than a second. Donna was a little creeped out, but was also curious. Was it actually haunted? And if so, by who? Around this time, Donna started finding messages on parchment paper throughout the apartment. Some of them read, "Help me," along with other short messages like that. But the most interesting fact about this is that Donna didn't have any parchment paper in the apartment. No one knew where this paper came from. All notes looked like they were written by a small child. They started questioning whether the doll could actually write these notes or it was one of them playing a prank on the rest. The two women started to fear that somebody was breaking into the apartment and just using the doll as a distraction. One morning, when Lou had left for work, Angie and Donna had put tape across the doors and moved the rug in a very specific position to know that if they got home, if anybody had moved it. But once home later that evening, they found that the tape was never disturbed and the rug never moved, but the notes continued to be found and the doll continued to move. As crazy as it sounds, they began to suspect that the doll was actually behind it. But once they just started to believe in that idea, that's when the paranormal activity started to escalate. Once a piece of chocolate mysteriously appeared on top of their stereo around Christmas. Another time, all three of them had witnessed a statue start to levitate on its own and smash into the floor. Another occasion, when Donna came home from work, she had to fight back a scream when she found the doll on her bed. The movement of the doll didn't frighten her. It was the fact that she saw what looked like blood on the doll's hands and 3 drops of blood on her chest. There were no rational explanations for where the blood came from. Nobody in the apartment had recently hurt themselves. Still, no one was ready to get rid of the doll. Even though it was scary, it was strangely fun. Something for them to look forward to at the end of the day. A mysterious occurrence of their very own. A few days later, Donna put the doll on the chair in the kitchen one morning, saying that she was going to eat breakfast with them. She did it a few more times, and on the 3rd day, the doll's arms raised onto the table in front of everyone. Even after that, Donna and Angie were still not scared of the doll, but they decided they should talk to a medium. Now that they were certain that a spirit was trapped inside the doll, one of the fellow nurses put them in contact with a medium that they knew. The medium came over and conducted a seance and told them that the doll was inhabited by a spirit of a little girl named Annabelle. Annabelle was about 6 years old when she died, saying that she had once played in the field directly where the apartment complex was built on. She lived in a building on the same property, and even though she died in that area, she said that her time spent in the field under this building was a happy one. She died on the street directly in front of her house, where she was hit by a car. The spirit of Annabelle said that she felt comforted by Donna and Angie, and she wanted to stay with them, be loved by them forever. Donna and Angie's hearts bled for this little girl. They felt terrible for what happened to her, and decided that this little girl was harmless, and they would do everything that they could to take care of her. She was welcome to stay here, and they would love and care for her as long as they could. It was only after the seance that they started calling the doll Annabelle. Things quickly escalated after the seance, and soon she wouldn't seem so harmless. Lou did not like the doll from the beginning. It creeped him out, and he told Donna that it was evil and they should get rid of it. Donna didn't want to. She felt that the doll was just possessed by this little girl that just wanted to be loved. Lou would claim that this harmless little girl almost killed him one night. One evening, he woke up from sleeping on the couch, and he couldn't move. He saw Annabelle standing at his feet. Lou would later tell Ed and Lorraine Warren in an interview that this thing would give him bad dreams, reoccurring ones. But yet, what I'm about to tell you is not a dream, because somehow I saw this happen to me. While I was lying there, I saw myself wake up. Something seemed wrong. I looked around the room and nothing was out of place. But then I looked towards my feet. I saw the Raggedy Ann doll, Annabelle. It was slowly gliding up my body, moved over my chest, and stopped. Then it put its two arms out, and then I saw myself being strangled. I was trying to push the doll off. It wouldn't move. It was literally strangling me to death. But I couldn't help myself. No matter how hard I tried, before passing out, I finally snapped out of whatever trance I was in and tossed it aside, where it laid on the floor, motionless. Despite this encounter, Donna still wouldn't depart with the doll, trying to claim that Lou's encounter was a nightmare and Annabelle was harmless. Soon after this experience, Lou and Angie were exploring some maps before heading out on a trip when they heard a rustling coming from Donna's room. Lou went to the door and waited outside until the noise had stopped. When he entered the room, he saw the doll lying on the floor in the corner. He knew Donna hadn't left it like that and got the chills because he slowly and cautiously walked over to it and suddenly felt the presence behind him. He spun around but saw nothing. Then, the very next moment, he grabbed his chest in pain. He was bleeding. His skin was burning. He lifted his shirt and found 7 claw marks, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal. But still, Donna was not ready to depart with Annabelle. She had yet to harm her. However, after talking with an angry and frightened Lou, Donna reached out to a local Episcopalian priest named Father Hagen. He then contacted his superior, Father Cook, and Father Cook had contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens had convinced Father Cook to conduct an exorcism on the doll in Donna's apartment. Ed and Lorraine Warren came over to talk to Donna, Angie, and Lou. When Donna started talking about Annabelle, Ed had interrupted her and asked who was Annabelle. Angie said that Annabelle had belonged to Donna, and that's when Lorraine asked if Annabelle was a live, breathing thing. Donna was confused. Is she alive? She moved and acted alive, but she's not alive. She continued telling Ed and Lorraine about the events that happened after she received the doll for her birthday. After hearing about the initial events, Ed said that maybe someone had been breaking in and was playing jokes on them. They told him about that was not possible due to what they did to eliminate that suspicion. They told him about the meeting with the medium. After listening to everything, Ed and Lorraine Warren said that the doll was not possessed by a little girl, and instead was possessed by some inhuman entity, something demonic, due to the spirits not being able to possess inanimate objects. More troubling, that they were concerned that they were using a doll's body, only temporarily, that was really seeking to possess a human, claiming that initially it started to move the doll to cause people to become curious about it, then predictably make the mistake of bringing a medium into the apartment to try to communicate with it, so it could prey on the girl's emotional vulnerability by pretending to be a rather harmless, deceased little girl, and was given permission by Donna to haunt the apartment. Ed and Lorraine Warren feared that if they had not reached out, then the spirit would have ultimately possessed one of them in just a few short weeks. Father Cooks, the Presbyterian priest, had performed an exorcism throughout the apartment, during which no disturbances occurred. Once he had concluded the exorcism, Donna asked Ed and Lorraine if they could take Annabelle with them, and they did. They put her in the back seat of the car and drove home. Ed refused to take the interstate in case the spirit was still inside the doll. He wasn't sure if it would try and cause them to wreck, but he didn't want to risk traveling at that speed. And sure enough, on their way home, the Warrens claimed that their power steering and brakes failed on numerous occasions. After nearly crashing multiple times, Ed doused the doll and the car in holy water and had no more mechanical problems until they reached home. Lorraine had a special case built for Annabelle because she escaped several times within the first few weeks of her being in the house. At first, Ed placed Annabelle in a chair at his desk where he claimed to see the doll levitate, and the doll they claimed to begin to move from room to room. Once they left home, they locked the doll in their office in another building on their property. And when they got back, they found Annabelle sitting in Ed's easy chair in the main house. They built a special blessed case to try to trap the spirit within. On this case, there was a sign that read, "Warning, positively do not open." The case has a wooden frame infused with holy oil and holy water, and 3 crosses attached to it, 2 figures of St. Michael, a copy of the Lord's Prayer to St. Michael. But despite all that protection, it still might not be enough to keep the entity sealed inside it 100%. It seems to break out and go after anyone who is foolish enough to upset it. Ed had claimed Annabelle is responsible for the death of one museum visitor. The young man came into the museum and challenged the doll to do its worst, and it did. According to the story, the man came to the museum on a motorcycle. He then tapped on the glass, mocked Annabelle, challenging the doll to scratch him. Witnessing this, Ed had kicked him out of the museum. Several hours later, he crashed his motorcycle against a tree, killing him instantly, and injuring his girlfriend enough to go to the hospital. She claimed that during the ride, they were mocking Annabelle when the boyfriend lost control of his bike. Annabelle has also hated any clergymen that have visited. Father John Bradford, an exorcist, once visited the Warrens, supposedly picked up Annabelle and said, "You're just a rag doll. You can't hurt anybody." Ed warned him that he shouldn't say that, but the priest insisted that God is more powerful than any demon or devil. A few hours later, he called to tell Ed and Lorraine that his brakes failed at a busy intersection. He was injured, shook up, and scared, but lived. The last thing he remembered before the accident was looking into his rearview mirror and seeing Annabelle looking back at him. Annabelle also seemed to disturb a law enforcement officer. Ed was working with the police detective on a case. Ed said that this man had seen everything and did not scare easily. As they were in the office talking, Lorraine called Ed upstairs to answer the phone call. He told the officer to look around but don't touch anything. Ed said he was gone for only a few minutes, and when he came back, the detective approached him, sweating, shaking, and mumbled, "The doll, the rag doll, it's real." He refused to tell Ed what happened next. He also supposedly quit the force shortly after this encounter.
Whew, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
The girls are idiots because, like I said, demon possession I think is real. I think there's specific people that it cannot possess.
Okay.
But if something starts moving that isn't supposed to be moving, you get that out of your house immediately.
Oh yeah, avid believer in that.
And also, what would where did the mom get this doll again? Like from a secondhand store?
From a hobby store.
Hobby
It was
store.
a brand new
Okay.
Raggedy Ann doll.
Okay.
It just came out that year.
Okay.
It was the newest model.
Okay. Freaking 3 feet tall. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't know Raggedy Ann dolls are that big.
I didn't know that either, because now they're definitely not. Maybe that was after that they quit making them that tall. Because I had Raggedy Ann dolls when I was growing up.
Yeah, they're
little.
Yeah.
Like we had a Raggedy Ann doll. We had a Raggedy Ann and Andy. My mom has a ceramic Raggedy Ann doll. That's
ceramic dolls.
Oh, she's so cute
out.
though. No, she's so cute. She's so cute.
No doll.
And
especially porcelain doll is cute.
No, she's cute. She got broken, and then my sister, I think it was my youngest one, spent a painstaking amount of time gluing it back together for my mother, because my mother was so upset that it broke, and so she glued it all back together. So normally sweet. Raggedy Ann, I think they're cute. You know, Raggedy Ann and Andy, they're so adorable.
I had to look at all the different variations of Raggedy Ann. There's quite a few. Mm-hmm. I didn't know.
I didn't know there was one that was 3 feet tall.
I did not either.
Because the whole thing is you have to invite something into your house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, I think words are powerful, but I also think, again, your brain is susceptible to informations, like with the Ouija board. That this mysterious guy named Dante killed himself in this house. You're going to start seeing things. If this doll is moving, air quotes, you're going to start to imagine other things.
Now, so the initial movement of suddenly changing positions on her bed. Almost like a game.
So I do agree that it was kind of trying to get you interested in what the doll was doing, because
it's one of those things of once you acknowledge it, you give it power.
Yeah.
So you didn't even need to speak it. Or maybe they did speak it. Maybe they talked about it.
I think you have to use words. So when it comes to demon possession, in my opinion, I think you have to give it permission, verbal permission, because since we're talking about demon possession, potential demon possession with the devil and demon possession, they can't read your mind. They can't read your thoughts. You have to verbalize it. You have to use the words to give it permission to come in.
Yeah.
Whether that's into your mind, into your body, or into your house,
Okay.
whatever, you have to give it permission. So it because the doll was only subtly moving for a while, right? And then it was
Yes.
doing those little, allegedly doing those little notes right before they brought in the medium.
Yes, before they brought in the medium.
So it wasn't doing anything major. It was all minor stuff until this dumbass Donna gave the doll
Permission to live there.
to live there, which you should never do.
Oh no.
Like,
No,
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 this
no, no.
unless you're paying rent, you can get the hell out of my house.
Yeah.
I tell that to a spider before I smash him.
One thing you don't know is anytime I'm alone in this house and I hear something, I just yell out, "You are not welcomed here. Get out."
I did not know that.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna put cameras in all the rooms now.
Okay.
So I can hear that.
Yeah, but I just no. That's something you have to tell spirits that they are not welcome to inhabit your location. That's a rule. Just like Ouija boards have rules, ghosts have rules, or spirits have rules.
Considering I only believe in the demon part of this, I would be telling a demon you can't be here. But also, I'm not worried about demon possession on myself because they can't possess me.
Okay.
So
what happens if I lock you in a room with Annabelle? Just like for
I'm setting that shit on fire.
what if
like I'm not even no.
It's just you and the doll.
No.
There's nothing you can set on fire. You're in a padded room together.
We don't have to talk. I don't have to talk. She can stay on her side. I'll stay on my side. We'll be fine. Because I don't know that much about demon possession of inanimate objects.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to see. But I mean, again, I believe in demons. I don't believe in all of these ghosts and goblins things that are allegedly in the world.
We'll get into it.
And so, to me, as soon as something starts being outside, you need to get rid of that. No, because if that is possessed by a demon, no, you gotta go.
So I was always curious. I've heard of Annabelle. I've heard of Annabelle before the Conjuring movies, and kind of before it all. But before it became
that's not a Raggedy Ann doll in the.
No, they have like Annabelle in that series is more of like a porcelain doll.
Okay. Continue. Sorry.
So I knew of Annabelle before then, and one thing I always questioned was how come they never got rid of it? Like I would be setting that shit on fire.
'Cause she dumb.
No. Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh, 'cause they're also dumb.
No. I found an article where they somebody asked that same question. Why have you destroyed the doll? And they said it is better for us to contain the spirit than destroy the thing that is possessing and set it free upon the world.
So why didn't the exorcism work then? Because if that priest walked around and exorcised the whole apartment and the doll.
And that's a curious question too, because the world's longest exorcism was like 36 hours or something like that.
Sheesh.
And maybe he didn't do a long enough exorcism.
But usually when you're doing an exorcism, which is it's not purely Catholicism who believes in exorcism. I think there's a couple like Christian preachers and stuff that have done exorcisms.
Past Father Cook was a Presbyterian.
Okay, yeah. So maybe you needed a Catholic. But usually when you do exorcisms, if you are an ordained priest, minister, whatever, isn't there always some sort of fight from the demon that you're going up against and trying to get out of? Like they're doing something weird. Obviously it's an inanimate object, but they're, in a human, they're talking in a different language. They're screaming. They're cussing you out. Their body is contorting. They're floating. All of that. So is the reason why nothing scary happened because this is an inanimate object?
Now, I have two theories on that.
Okay.
First theory is nothing was happening. He was like, okay, well, I followed the script. Nothing happened. I think it was a weak demon. It didn't have a strong hold in this house. And I got it out. The other theory is something did happen and he didn't mention it. And he was just like, fuck this. Like, okay, your house is cleaned. Goodbye.
I feel like that if it was weak, it would be fighting super hard to stay. So it would be doing everything imaginable. Because, I mean, if you try to, we'll use a dog, for example. If you've got a puppy, a little tiny puppy, that you're trying to get them to go somewhere that they don't want to go.
Uh-huh.
You are fighting with this dog so hard to get the dog to go into their kennel or to go outside or to come inside. And they are fighting and struggling because they're not very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing everything they can. If you're holding them, they're doing everything you can to get out of your arms. Whereas if you've got a bigger dog, that dog knows that it's strong enough that it does not have to fight you. Like our dog, you're not going to just move her easily. She's strong enough. She's like, I'm not moving, and there's nothing you can do about it. So could it be that this particular, if this is real,
asterisk,
that this particular demon was so strong that this puny priest, in comparison, didn't do enough to get it out?
And that's when I go back to my two theories of he didn't feel any resistance. Nothing was fighting back, so he just thought it was just something small.
How do you know that it works? Because obviously it didn't. So why did they never try to do another exorcism? And then if you've got all this other stuff around it, you've got the holy oil and the water and the crosses and the Lord's Prayer and the Saint Michael thing, which why? I mean, if those things can't even contain the doll, then the doll, again, air quotes, is willingly staying in this case, or is this stuff weakening the doll? And if you try to do an exorcism, then that's when shit's gonna hit the fan, and you can potentially rid the world of this demon inside this inanimate object after, what are we at, 60 years?
Coming on 60 years, yeah.
Okay.
1970.
So yeah,
55 years.
55 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I can math.
Wow, that's crazy.
No, because the 70s was 30 years ago. Shut up. So, you would, I mean, did nobody ever try to, did you not see anything where they ever tried to do another exorcism on the doll?
No, I didn't see anything about that.
Because, I mean, they're not even that especially with Catholics, you have to be specifically, authorized.
There's a whole process.
Yeah.
There's a whole process that they go down to figure out if a possession is necessary or an exorcism is necessary.
Yeah, some of that I don't agree with.
And then, yeah, that's interesting. And then they have only specific priests that are able to do exorcisms.
Yeah, because I know at one point I read something where there was like 500 or 700 requests to the Catholic Church for exorcisms, and the church rejected the majority of them.
Yeah,
and so, which is another reason why I think some of this stuff is BS, because 500 to 700 people are, I think that was just out of America. I don't think that was the whole world. I think that was just here in the U.S.
Okay.
500 to 700 people are possessed by demons. No, I think we use that term loosely when people are just being a little crazy.
Well, have you seen the state of the world?
I mean,
I feel like that number's low.
Well, this was a while ago. This was years and years and years ago.
You got to pump those numbers up.
I mean, but like, I feel like people also just made that up at the time. But then also, you have two girls that are clearly stupid. The only smart one in that place was
How
Lou.
do you really feel about that?
Oh, you don't want to know. Dumbass Donna. That she full on admits that this doll was acting crazy. It was doing weird things.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did nothing about that. Then Lou, who does not like the doll, who gets the heebie-jeebies from the doll and says, we really should get rid of this. Like, please, let's get rid of it. And says she's giving me nightmares. She tried to kill me. And then, and you may not know the answer to this. So when Donna allegedly sees blood on the doll, when was this, before or after she tried to kill Lou?
I think it was before.
Okay. So where in the hell did the blood come from? Did she not think to figure that out?
Well, they looked around. Nobody was injured.
Okay.
And
so
the doll, the doll was in their house or in their apartment. So there's not much that could have happened. So they looked everywhere.
This bitch could leave.
They found no evidence of where the blood came from.
Okay. So you've got a doll who's got blood.
Okay.
And then you have your roommate's boyfriend telling you this doll is giving me nightmares, is trying to kill me, has tried to murder me, and then when you are there with your girlfriend and the owner of said doll is not there, and then you go into her room after you hear some noise and the doll is all weird and contorted, whatever, in the corner, and then you feel a presence behind you.
And you get scratched up.
Now, I would love to know if there were pictures of those scratches. Now, I know it was the 70s and, it was a little different picture-wise, like we can just pull out our phones and take a picture, but I would love to know if there was a picture of those scratches.
Ooh, that's something I didn't even think of. Yeah.
Because, now granted, again, do I think that the doll scratched him? No, I don't.
It was a demon.
Because the doll doesn't have nails. But if he did get scratched, what did scratch him? And got more pissed off when it was taken from the house and went with Ed and Lorraine. But first off, don't give your 28-year-old daughter a doll. She's not 8. She's 28. That's weird.
Some people collect them.
But it didn't seem like she did.
I don't know.
There's no mention of her having any other dolls.
Okay.
So why? Don't do that. That's weird. We don't like that. But 2, if strange things are happening, like, smart people find out the cause of that, and then when they do, they fix the problem. They don't keep the problem in their place. And then you brought a medium into your house. First off, I don't believe in mediums at all. Like, at all. That's a bunch of phony baloney.
Okay.
But for the sake of this argument here, we'll say that they're real.
I see, and I do believe in mediums.
Of course you do.
So I believe that that there are some people that are more in tune with the other plane of existence. And
so you think that there are people like that are seriously like 100% just connected to that other side, and not people who are like Patrick Jane from The Mentalist.
No, I do believe in both. I wholeheartedly believe that
there
are
people
out there.
I believe there are people who can for sure pay attention to you and look and go, okay, well, you must have some sort of animal, or look at your hands and go, you're a blue collar worker. Yeah, that's just hyper observance.
There's hyper observance, and then there's definitely con artists out there that do it for a quick buck, and then there's people that just feel more in tune, that they can communicate somewhat.
Was it Howard Houdini who made it like his life's mission to? Who was it that it was? Is it him that made it his life mission to prove that those people are full of crap?
I think so.
Okay, well,
I know somebody famous like that. It was his life mission.
Yeah, well, I'm on his side. But either way, you brought that in to your apartment where you live.
Yeah.
And then, hilariously enough, it is this, maybe it's probably not even hilarious at this point, it's a thing that would definitely pull on a woman's heartstrings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a 6-year-old girl and she died so young. So why that apartment? Why is she in that apartment? There's got to be other apartments in that building that actually have little girls, that have dolls, that would be more her age, that she would have more fun playing with, more fun being around.
Well, what if the demon, the spirit, whatever it is, got picked up, like, just along the way? Maybe it just found that, and it's stuck in that specific item. This time it was a Raggedy Ann doll. And it cannot leave until it has a new host. A new willing host that gives it permission.
Well, there's other dolls, though.
Yeah, so and then it didn't really have, I don't know if it had a choice.
Yeah, but if this alleged little girl died in the street, then first off, that should be the first thing you're checking.
Oh, yeah, I would have wholeheartedly jumped into research mode and then found out about it.
And then if this...
I mean, it was the 70s, it would have been harder. But there's still microfiche.
But see, you could have that medium say, okay, well, you died then, but when did you die? How, like, what year was it? What was your address before that? And then make sure you get all of that information and find out, is this actually true?
Oh, yeah, if you want to live in this apartment, you got to have a background check.
Yeah, sorry. But no,
where's your 2 months of deposit?
Yeah, I need your social.
We're going to need to do a credit check.
And then any 3 forms of ID.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to need all of that.
All of it.
When was the last time, like, that cop, did we know what year that was? Like, when was the last time that allegedly these things happened? Was this before the digital age of everything?
I would imagine so.
Okay, yeah. So that's interesting. Because none of this stuff seems to be happening when we have the ability to pull out our phones and take a picture.
Now, with that being said, the whole digital age, when this thing kicks off, because, again, words have power, and I fully believe this thing will kick off. I would like to do videos of us, and we can show like videos that I find, and they have video evidence of some of these creatures that I want to talk about.
But what about for this specific one, Annabelle?
I don't know. I don't know what year it was. I just know that Ed Warren, he was helping out on a case that was near him, so a local case, and he was working with a detective, and that's when it happened.
Yeah, but
so I do want to look into that. I don't know if they kept it private just for this guy's privacy, so people don't flood him, because everybody that knows Ed and Lorraine Warren, they were all over their place.
Well, and then if it's anything like the people that you work with, they're going to give that guy nothing but crap if he's scared of that.
Yeah. I mean, again, it just takes one story to be true.
No.
And then it opens up. Because this guy, he feared nothing. He's seen it all.
Yeah.
He's done it all. He didn't fear anything. And then whenever the doll ended up being real.
Yeah, but see, I believe in demon possession and I believe in demons, but I don't think that the rest of this stuff is real. I don't think that ghosts and poltergeists and goat men and werewolves and all that are real.
Poltergeist. What?
So I know I find those stories fascinating. I find haunted houses fascinating, but I don't think any of it's real. So I don't think that at least not to me, well, just because one's real means everything. No.
Nope. It just takes one.
Nope. I don't agree with that.
It just takes one of these stories to be real for it to open up your world.
Nope. I do not agree.
So
still need to figure out the whole snack situation though. I gotta have snacks.
No snacks.
I gotta have snacks.
No snacks.
Snacks are a necessity.
No, not.
So you don't want me to eat? That's rude.
Yeah.
Rude. Rude.
I also have this idea that I want to have like an audio track of a campfire going.
Yes.
Low in the background, or at least during the stories.
Yeah.
So it's like we're telling each other scary stories around a campfire.
I like it.
You like that?
I like it.
Okay.
Let's do
it. Maybe for this episode. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, it's the end of the episode, and I gotta ask: do you believe?
No. No, I don't. I do not.
Okay. All right. Well.
Maybe next time.
It's maybe next time. All right. There you go. There you go, folks. That's it. And well, this is where I say bye.
Bye.
Bye.